Why does parental engagement have an impact on learning, on a child's success?
Well, actually, parental engagement has an impact on children's development, a part of which is learning. It also affects how engaged they are in the school, how committed they are to the school. If the parents are trusting of the adults in the school, then the children tend to be more trusting of the adults in the school. All of those things have long-term payoffs for children, in addition to the learning.
So what are the challenges in urban school districts in establishing that trust and communication between parents and schools?
There are lots of parts to that. One issue that people don't appreciate is that when you put people in a difficult situation, give them a tough job to do, and don't give them the resources to do that job, they're going to turn on each other, right? And so urban school systems are often places where the superintendents are blaming the principals are blaming the teachers blame the parents. And you get a culture, an atmosphere in which those people can't work together because they're so busy pointing the finger at one another. And what we see is, we see the disconnects. We forget that this is how people behave when they don't have the resources they need to do the job. So in some questions, the issue of rebuilding the fabric of inner city schools starts with a question of resources. Then it also is a question of organization. The better organized schools are, the more likely that the faculty, the adults connected to that school are to trust one another. That program's a home run. And there are other programs like it, but it's been around probably close to a decade now. It gets deeper every year. The cultures, more and more of that program is in the hands of the women who are going through the programs. They have, the iron rule of organizing. You do not do for people the things they can do for themselves. Whether they believe they can do for themselves or not, that's irrelevant. They push people into situations where those people don't believe they can do it and help them learn that they can do it. So it's that attitude, right? You take these program elements and transfer them to someplace else that doesn't have the same attitude toward parents, and it's just going to be the usual vapid, boring, uninspiring parent program. Logan Square attendance used to be a terrible problem. Since they have gotten parents involved in the attendance problem and have parents going out looking for the children who aren't coming, trying to find out what the problems are, trying to get them connected to the social services that will speak to those problems. Parents have made quite a dent in that issue. The other issue, I think, is that you go into those schools and it's almost physical how much it feels like it's a part of the community, right? I mean, how much culture is there? There are parents here, there are parents everywhere. There is so much chatter going on about things that are happening in the neighborhood as well as things which are happening in the schools. They develop and create a real sense of ownership in those schools. And there's no question that the students like to see the parents in school and the friends of their parents in schools, so that school becomes more of an extension of home. It also means they can't get away with as much. I think there's no question about that, right? Because the ladies from your block are watching you, and you will be reported on.
Not every school would embrace parents actually in the classrooms.
Most schools don't want parents, right? That has nothing to do with ethnicity, urban or suburban. Schools are run by professionals who don't want people looking over their shoulders. I mean, in the suburbs, they don't have any choice. Parents have enough status and political power that they're going to be there. But schools generally would, when they say parent involvement, they want parents doing very safe and predictable things. They don't want them too close to the core enterprise of the schools. And again, I don't believe that has anything to do with the type of community. It's just that in our urban communities, our parents don't have the social status. It's a tooth-pulling process. It's not easy. But parents, teachers, principals, community members come to have a different kind of trust with one another after they have worked with one another. So it is not just a matter of what this kind of programming does for the individual child or the individual parent, but what this does to make the school a different kind of place.